guys, Miss Sigmund here. We are actually in Texas at the Guadalupe National Park. Believe it or not, this mountain behind me is the tallest mountain in all of Texas.
How did we get to the Guadalupe Mountains National Park? So we started off here in Albuquerque. We actually headed east on I-40 all the way to a place called Klein's Corners. Now, Klein's Corners is interesting because you hear about it on the news, about the weather and all that, but it's actually not a town. It is actually a place. It's like a ginormous gas station. So from there, we headed south, going down to Encino, over to Vaughn, then again down 285, down to Roswell, keep going down to Artesia, keep going down through Carlsbad, and then keep going down to this 180. And here you have, in Texas, West Texas, Guadalupe Mountains National Park.
So the Guadalupe Mountain, their trace origin to the ancient Capitan Reef, which means it was underwater, which built up along the fringe of shallow ocean here. The reef formed during the Permian period 250 million years ago, before mammals and flowering plants appeared on Earth. The limy skeletons of algae, sponges, and other aquatic organisms were cemented together by the billions to form the reef structure. The process took millions of years. As time passed, the shallow waters dried up and layers of sediment buried the reef. Then 10 to 12 million years ago, Earth forces uplifted the region. Overlying sediments eroded away, exposing the limestone mountain that was once a living reef. So, today the Capitan Reef stands right here as a classic example of a fossil reef. So the views from the Guadalupe National Park from the highway can be spectacular, but also deceptive. Hidden from view are secluded forests and high country, shady streams that run through quiet canyons and expansive gypsum sand dunes that glisten like snow drifts near west boundary. No major roads lead through the park, so it is strictly hiking. There's 80 miles of trails that offer some of the best hiking in the Southwest. All right, so I want you guys to check this out. Okay, here's a tree, right? You're like, great, Miss Sigmund, it's a tree. You know, here we go, the branches. Okay, there are the leaves. Awesome, right, Miss Sigmund? It's a tree. We've all seen trees. Well, if you look, this is actually mistletoe. I don't know if you guys have heard around Christmas, if you mistletoe hanging over your head, you're supposed to kiss somebody, blah, blah, blah. Actually, mistletoe is really invasive and it can potentially kill trees. So I'm going to take a step back so you can check out this tree. And the green parts, the big clumps of bally stuff, that is mistletoe taking over the tree. All right, believe it or not, you are looking at the highest point, highest mountain in Texas. This is Guadalupe Mountain, is 8,751 feet tall. All right, so the rocks that you're seeing is limestone. And if you just kind of look around, can you imagine all of this being underwater? The ocean was actually here 250 million years ago. That's crazy nuts to even think about. So if you look, there is a fossil of a fish. Fish were common in the Permian Sea, but rarely fossilized. So you'd have to look close. But this is algae that was abundant in the Capitan Reef. Here's another fossil. The primary reef builders were the sponges. So this is fossilized sponges. This is a fossil of brachiopods. They lived on the sea floor. They fed by filtering small particles from the seawater with a sieve-like internal organ.
Okay, if you look real close, much like snails of today, these fossil gastropods possess a protective shell and used a flattened foot to guide over the Permian seafloor. Okay, here's another fossil of a shell. And if you look here as well. So here's some Permian reef fossils also.
And the thought that they have found fossils from fish and sponges and algae and coral out here in the Chihuahuan Desert, that's nuts. Okay, so I think I have a better understanding that this area, I could possibly see this area being under the ocean. Alright, so we are looking at Guadalupe National Park from the side of the road. We're going to pan around. I'm going to show you a rock. This is Texas's version of El Capitan. I would like to say the real El Capitan is actually in Yosemite, but obviously Texas has their own version. So here you have a piece of the Guadalupe mountain range in West Texas. Stay tuned for part 2 next week.